This is what concealed carry looks like for a lot of people, and today I'm going to help you navigate this mess or stop you dead in your tracks from even getting to this point, because to be honest with you, holsters are expensive. And so hopefully I will save you a ton of money, a ton of time, a ton of frustration, or the person I'm really going after is the one that says, I'm just not even going to carry because this is not comfortable at all. Hopefully I can turn that around and help you out and lead you in the right direction. Just think of me as your Google Maps, or if you like Apple Maps, to lead you on the direction to the right path here so you can start carrying in comfort and in something that you can actually trust. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So it's a pretty bold claim to say that I'm going to name the best concealed carry holster on the market. Keep in mind, this is just my opinion, but I am sure at this point, through thousands, tens of thousands now of people that have bought these holsters from my recommendations, the comments that I've gotten, I can feel pretty secure knowing that my thoughts here will be validated by people in the comment section, real people that have actually bought these holsters. So I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm going to bring in the star of the show, but I do want to kind of walk you through my thought process on some of these and just kind of tell you where I was thinking, where these fall short for me, and tell you why I choose the holster I do. I started carrying this a long time ago, actually. I bought this, I want to say, probably 2017-ish when the P320 subcompact, we did that review. I'll have to look and see exactly when it was, but that's the gun I bought this holster for. And I'll tell you, I have back issues, and this is one of the least intrusive ways to carry, and one of the more comfortable ways I've found to carry if it's cold outside. And we don't get too many of those days here in the South, so I don't get to do it too often, but you get to carry 2 extra magazines and your gun, a bigger gun at that. You keep the weight kind of on your shoulders. You're not leaned off to one side or the other. This is a fantastic way to carry. I just don't get to use it that often. If you're gonna buy one, I would say probably spend at least 120, 150 bucks to get a good solid holster. There's some really cheap ones out there. I'd stay away from those. But this is a decent option. So one issue that you'll find with shoulder holsters too is getting to it. Now this takes practice and dedication, none of which I've put a ton of time in, so you're not gonna see some super quick draw or anything like that. But if you have a jacket over it, if you have a motorcycle cut over it or some kind of vest over it, or hell, even a business suit, whatever, getting to it is a little bit more difficult. So essentially, we got to get the clothing out of the way. So down, thumb break, boom, just something like that. But again, takes practice. The thumb break on this one is a little bit long, so it's easy to get to, but it does create a little bit of a point right here where it sticks out. Is anybody ever going to notice that? No, but if I wear something even like a polo or something like that, it sticks out a little too much, so it looks a little awkward. This side is no problem because it lays down flat. So if that thumb break was, man, just a little bit smaller, more concealed or tucked in or a little bit or something, this would be a much better option. But again, it's just getting to it. And hopefully your zipper doesn't stay. You know, get it out of there. And again, not super quick or efficient with this, but it is something you can use. And definitely on a motorcycle. I mean, this is, you know, especially if you're always wearing leathers or always wearing a cut or anything like that, this may be a good option. And as you can see, I mean, especially under a jacket, it's pretty well concealed, that's for sure. Now, normally when I do a video, I get way more love than hate, but this video on this holster got maybe even more hate than love, which is unusual, but I get it. It's an unusual way to carry, but it's still useful in deep concealment and smaller kind of guns. And this is the Urban Carry G3. And so all that's going to be showing is that right there. That's it, right? And the clip is actually underneath. So it's going to clip to an 1.5 inch belt, which is pretty standard. Again, you want a good gun belt, not a regular belt. I don't care if it's a $60 regular leather belt, don't buy it. Core Essentials is the only way to go in my opinion because of its adjustability, all that good stuff. I've done videos on them, check them out. Regardless, This is all that's shown. This little flap, it's magnetic. It covers that clip, so you're not gonna see it, right? And all you do is boom, pull it out. I don't really get why people hate it as much as they do. It's a different way to carry. These things aren't cheap, right? But at the same time, it is pretty convenient because you can bend, you can sit. It doesn't really print. I mean, very minimal printing. It locks in place too, which I like. Boom. And even in that video, I said it's not my favorite way to carry, but for certain situations, it's not too bad. Sometimes the draw can be a little weird because that magnet will tend to stick sometimes to the gun itself. So again, this is kind of where practice comes into play. You're gonna have this thing hanging out of your pants. God forbid you ever have to pull it, but who cares? You just wanna be able to get to your gun. Whatever way is convenient for you to carry a gun, don't let anybody tell you that that way is stupid. As long as it is accessible and safe, that's all that really matters. It needs to be accessible and safe. You need to be able to get to it, and it needs to lock in place somehow. And this does that. Again, certain situations, I like this carry option. Now you'll have to forgive me here. I don't yet have the equalizer as of me filming this video. I'll have it in like a day or maybe even later today. But regardless, just to give you an idea of what this type of holster will offer you. Again, I am not a huge fan of this, but for the people, I'm gonna show you what this looks like. Now to be totally fair, I see that most people would probably carry this, I guess appendix? I don't know. But anyways, you'll get the idea at least. Again, not made for this gun. But pretty comfortable. It's got that material in the back, which again is gonna cause me to sweat really quickly. I'm just not a fan of any kind of material, and that one is not even that intrusive. It bugs me, man. And then the sweat guard, because you have a little bit of extra material here. You see that right there? It just, man, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just uncomfortable. But you get to carry an extra magazine. It's on your strong side. So to me, you know, it's like this. Yeah, it's not made for that mag either. But, you know, it's convenient because now you have everything just right there in one spot. So if I need to draw, I have to adjust this all the way around, honestly. I feel like that extra material kind of gets in the way of my draw too. So I'll kind of do it in slow motion, not trying to make this thing look either better or worse, just trying to tell you kind of where I'm at with this. But if I'm drawing, my hand instantly goes here, and I should just be able to move that shell maybe a little bit because there is some adjustability to it. And again, it's not made for this gun, but you're gonna see that's where the gun's gonna sit. The gun ain't gonna sit anywhere different, even if it was the equalizer, right? That's the shell. That's where the gun will be, right? So when I'm drawing this, I get the shirt out of the way, and you can almost use it as a way to leverage your thumb and leverage the gun in and out like that. And with enough practice, I could get used to it. I just feel like it's a little bit too much. Now, here's the thing. If I need to reload, right? So boom, got the gun out, drop that mag. I want to reach over here, right? I want to reach here to be able to draw out. And with the magic of editing, I now have my spare mag in the Neo mag. By the way, if you go with the Neo mag, go with the one with the longer clip. It's just easier to work with. This is a super strong clip, and the smaller one is just kind of hard to open up. So the one with the longer clip is the way to go in my opinion. But I would rather be on my weak side to get to that magazine, right? It's just easy. If I'm on my strong side, I basically have to switch the gun over, get that mag out, pop it in, switch it back over. See how inconvenient that is? Now, if you're carrying like this, because I know some people are going to say this, this just seems like too much of a pain in the ass. I feel like most people would try this and they'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Again, nothing against Crossbreed. I like their company. This is not the way I like to carry, but I know somebody will say, well, man, you're supposed to carry that thing appendix. Well, hell, I can barely get the gun in their appendix, honestly, but even if I do that, right? This just seems like a nightmare. But anyways, okay. If this is the way I was going to carry, you can see it actually conceals really well. Let's say I need to get the gun out, boom. And then if I carry it in the front, then I could use my support hand to get that mag in and out. This is just too much. I don't want, I just hate this style of holster. Not a fan of it at all. Forget the magazine pouch or carrier that's even on it. It just seems like too much to kind of get to, and it seems like too much material around the gun. A little bit unnecessary in my opinion. Now, here is the Crossbreed. This kind of straps around like that. Pull it tighter. Then you have a calf. These are the boots I wear every day too. So if you don't have taller socks and, you know, boots like this, this is gonna suck to wear. That Velcro on your skin, ugh, good on that. But you can see how that kind of works, right? And then we'll use the LCP2 again. Just like that. So I can adjust the length of this a little bit, but that is where it is most secure. I wore this at work. I've worn it quite a bit actually. As you can see, not too bad. Conceals pretty well. You know, there's a little bit of, you know, a little bit of a bulge right there, but again, who the heck is paying attention to your legs so hard that they're like, oh God, I think there's a little bit of a extra bulge on that guy's right hand leg. That looks suspicious, you know? So it conceals pretty well and it's very comfortable. You know, I really appreciate that part of it. Conceal carry is such a mixture of comfort, concealability, but access and the type of gun are equally important. And can you shoot that gun well? You know, these are very important things. And so this meets the comfort and convenient part of concealed carry, but the ability to get to the gun is definitely a problem. And you know, I'm sacrificing quite a bit if this were my primary carry, if this was the only gun I'm carrying. Now as a backup, I'll take it. But again, most of the time when I was carrying like this was my only gun. So getting to the gun is the biggest issue here. And so what's got to happen, pull your leg up and out, do the strap, boom, get to the gun in order to use it. Super inconvenient as far as the draw. Again, if we're talking about a backup, that's one thing, but as a primary carry, this is not the way I would go. And you know, people will say, oh, well, you know, concealed carry isn't supposed to be comfortable, it's designed to save your life. Well, there is truth to that, but also most people are not going to carry if it's uncomfortable. So, you know, you can say whatever you want, but the idea here for me, and the goal here for me, is to get everybody to carry, no matter what position may work for them. If they're carrying, they're already a step above most of the population. And that leads us to this. So, Kydex holster, super popular, couple of different reasons. You get really secure lockup on the gun, so you know that it's gonna be in place, it's gonna stay in place, unlike a friction held like leather holster, or some of even the examples that we've shown today where they're just held in by gravity and a snap or something like that. This, you pop it in, all you have to do to get it out is pull it, just like that. no extra material, and this one specifically is from Tolster. We've been working with these guys for a long time. You don't have to take my word for it. At this point, I can assure you there will be somebody, multiple people in the comments to tell you their experience with Tolster, and it's always positive. I don't know that I've heard a single bad word from somebody that has bought from them, because they do such an incredible job, and they keep your package small. I still think that's the best slogan they could ever use, but again, they still haven't picked it up. But essentially, you don't have a bunch of extra materials. So what I hate is when you have a carry gun similar to this is a Glock 43X, and you want a thin, light carry gun, but then you have a big honking holster that just makes your small, comfortable carry gun into an uncomfortable carry gun. So this does not do that. So there's a couple different options here. This is the profile. This allows you to actually switch the cant. So if you ask anybody that has ever carried a gun, every millimeter, every inch, every ounce makes a huge difference. So you can move this clip anywhere from 0 to 15 degrees, and that's going to move it just a little bit forward or just a little bit back, but it makes a huge difference. High sight channel right here, so if you have night sights, open down here, so it does allow some of the lint and stuff to fall through, or if you have a threaded barrel, it's going to work for that. Exposed magazine release, so that allows you to load the gun, holster the gun, pop the mag out, top it off, put it back in. The gun is safe the whole time. One of the biggest things, very minimal design. So wherever there doesn't need to be extra material, right in here, all the way around, they don't put it on there, which keeps this thing comfortable. The type of material is also very comfortable as well. Now this is the profile holster, super easy to get on and off, not complicated at all, and even better, that gun is securely in place. If I need to get to it, boom, it's right there. Put it back in the holster, boom. So that's how easy, and that's what kind of difference you get with a holster like this. Now again, I've been working with Tolster for over 7 years now, and I don't know, something like 13,000 people have bought from my link alone. These guys, they know what they're doing. So comfortable, adjustable cant, all that good stuff, and adjustable retention as well. So you can adjust just how much force it takes to get that gun out of there. Really awesome design. They have their X macro holsters out now. So this is the Contour. So this is an outside the waistband holster. And again, this gives you the ability, I like outside the waistband because it allows you to carry a little bit bigger of a gun. It's a little bit easier to get to, but if you want to conceal it, so let's say you're in an open carry state or whatever, you can open carry just like this. If you need to get to the gun, boom, right there, right? Well, with this holster, because the design is so short, the overall length is so short, minimal, again, as minimal as possible, you can actually throw your shirt over this, right? And still be able to pretty well conceal. I mean, this is a fairly larger, you know, carry gun, wearing a red shirt, trying to make it stick out as much as possible, and it still does a pretty decent job. Throw a jacket over this, boom, there you go. So, even better concealed at this point, and if I need to get to it, boom, right there. Awesome option. Now, if you want inside the waistband, but you have an optic on there, that's where the Oath holster comes in. The Oath holster from Tolster. So, this has a single clip design. You have the claw attachment, mod wing attachment is what Tolster calls it. And essentially this allows the gun to be pulled further in. So especially a gun like this where it's great, it has a longer grip, instead of, let's just say it's sticking out like this inside your waistband, it's actually gonna pull it in. And there's different lengths to these. So there's like a medium and a large, or a small and a medium. Anyways, so if it's like this, originally, it's gonna pull that thing in just a little bit, making it even more concealable. But again, all of the features remain. Sometimes you guys give Tolster a hard time, like, hey man, where's the holster for this gun or this new gun or whatever? And they've gotten way better since they've gotten bigger as far as getting holsters out for new guns on release day or shortly thereafter. But one thing you can never say about these guys, when they release something, it is not half-ass. It is not, oh man, they could have done a better job or whatever. It fits, it's snug, and they did the best job they could have on this holster. That's why I believe in these guys, man, because they will make sure when they release it, it ain't like Call of Duty, or it ain't like an Apple product, or hey, we'll just release it and fix it as we go. It's right the first time. So I appreciate that. Minimal design, magazine release is exposed, high sight channel, cut out in here so it can accommodate an optic, and also the material, the extra material I talked about is cut out to keep this as comfortable as possible. Mid-sweat shield on this right here, and this thing is just as comfortable. This clip right here is super strong. This is probably the strongest clip they make. That thing ain't going nowhere once you get it on your belt. So that's the X Macro Oath holster, the profile holster, or if you want to go with the contour outside the waistband. So these are just some of the options that I've used since I started carrying. There's many other options, from bras to frickin' belly bands, you know, to off body, don't recommend. But if what it takes for you to carry is a belly band and you say, I just don't like this, fine. As long as you can get access to it, that's the biggest thing, and you're actually going to carry it, you know. And some of the other things we talked about, that's what's most important. There's a lot that goes into this, but I hope that I was able to simplify this for you a little bit and give you some options. If you want to check out Holster, again, 13 or 14,000 people have bought from these guys. So they can't all be wrong. I could be wrong, but they can't all be wrong. So, and I've had nothing but positive feedback. They're discounted through my channel, and yes, it does support my channel, which is fine. If you don't want to do it, whatever, that's fine. But this is the best holster and the best way to carry that I've found. Not just because of the holster and all the features I talked about, it's the most accessible. In a car, on a daily basis, on a motorcycle, wherever I am, I can quickly get to my gun and feel confident that it's going to be there when I need it. Securely in place, everything we just talked about. This is the way to go for me personally. 3 to 4 o'clock position is where I like to carry, and that's where I feel the most comfortable. And even with back problems, it doesn't cause that many issues. There's some days that are worse than others for sure. If you have back issues, you know what I'm talking about. But generally speaking, if it's one of those days, I'll go to just a little bit smaller gun or whatever the case may be. But you're never gonna catch me, you're never gonna catch me in a place where I can legally carry. You're not gonna catch me without a gun or an excuse to why I don't have it, because that is the most important thing. And remember, we take an obligation to protect even the people around us that don't want us to have guns. We would still protect them if they ever needed it. And you never know if you'll need it. God forbid you do. But if you always have it, you never have to wonder, what if? Thank you guys for joining me. I'll leave those links down below to Holster. And if you want to check out some of the other options, I'll leave videos to those as well. Thank you guys. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.